Hello, my name is Janai Moorhead with Foundation Consultants, and today we are going to talk about creating transformation. And we're specifically going to talk about the human concept of your nonprofit ideas. Now, many of you have beautiful ideas. I work with you, and I am always continually amazed at the innovation that you come up with. But my job primarily is to help you business wise and to get you through paperwork, get you organized, and things like that. But on the other side of that is now the human component of all of your ideas. And so, throughout helping you through the business part of it, I do give everybody a little bit of help with the concepts that you have and uh, helping you through thinking about them, putting them into action, things like that. So, this is one of the things that I wanted to talk to you about today. I just have a few slides to talk about just to get you thinking while you're going through many of your processes. But transformation applies to all industries. They apply to human services, business, that's the field I'm in. I also do human services too, animal welfare, manufacturing, medicine, and science. And a lot of you that I help touch upon each one of these industries. But at the end of the day, you are in it to see a transformation. Human services, we want to change lives. Animal welfare, we want to make things better for the pets we love, and they love us too. And then manufacturing, some of you are doing innovation, creating things to help our lives become more smoother. And then medicine and science also, we want to make sure that we live healthy and whole lives. And at the end of all of those processes, we want to see a change or a transformation happen. And also, let me include ministry in that too. I'll be touching a little bit on transformation in ministry. We all talk about transformation in ministry, but then there's a component that also will help ministry in this area also. So a lot of what I have to talk about is leadership. And no matter what industry you are in, these few points do apply. So, the first thing in making transformation is to communicate vision. And this is why I help people with mission and vision. Mission is the purpose of your organization, but vision is the long term, lofty end game vision that you have. So, um, if you are in services to help people with homelessness, like I am, then your whole end game vision is that no one would ever be homeless again. And so this is something that I propose to my class. Can it ever happen? Some people say no, some people say it's possible, some people say absolutely yes if we change some things. Okay. And so we are all homeless providers want to be put out of business. Okay. But these things are take years and years and years and years to do. And so, but we are always communicating that vision. So, whatever vision you have for your nonprofit and what you're doing, you must communicate that vision. And you get pushback, like I have. People will say, "No, that can never happen. That can never happen. That's impossible." And so that's their opinion. All right. So, but the most important thing is that people need to see that you believe in your own vision, and they need to hear it confidently coming out of your mouth and frequently, because they might not be in a place to believe anything by the time they get to you. And I'm specifically talking about the clients or the people that you help that you hope to transform. So when you begin your process of figuring out what you're going to do and how you're going to go through a process of creating transformation for people, then you need to define what you're doing, how you're going to do it, and discuss the consequences of not changing. So, when you discuss the consequences of not changing, that means that you're either talking to your leadership staff or your clients. And sometimes you're talking to yourself. Okay. So you need to define what you're doing, and that means you need to write it down, how you're going to do it, write it down. And then at this point, you need to start sharing it with people. And then have people think about it and ask questions, and then listen to them, listen to their criticism, and listen to their ideas, and see, okay, maybe I didn't think about that, or yes, I could tweak it, or nah, I won't do that. That's up to you. But at least define what you're doing. Also, in creating transformation, create a sense of urgency. Creating a sense of urgency means that there's a limit to your time and the services that you provide. And you must maintain that sense of urgency over the amount of time a person needs to make that transformation. So many of you have listened to the videos that I made on homelessness and the shelter. And so in our shelter, we have maximum 90 days. And the ladies have to get through that program, and they're given 30 days at a time. And they're given goals that are mutually agreed upon. We never put anything on anybody that they can't accept, or they can't see that they can do, they can't do rather, okay, because we give them support. All right. But we also create an urgency, because there are other families out there that need to come in and uh, get the services that we have to offer. So we have a limit to our time, and we have a limit to the services we provide. And so we create a sense of urgency by saying you have 90 days, 30 days at a time. Every 30 days, we reevaluate your stay. Okay. And then we give them the goals that they need and the support that they need to make that transformation. Sure, we can follow up afterwards, but people have to move on. All right. And so I know it's kind of a cold blooded concept, but they can't stay in your program forever. They must move on. They must take the things that you gave them, the tools that you gave them, and then move on. Whether they complete the program or not is up to them, not up to you. Okay? Because if they haven't met certain goals, sometimes we give them a little bit of time, but we have a time limit, and so do you. Your time is important. Okay? And so you don't need to stress people out, but you need to create a sense of urgency that this is important and we have to get through this. Rules and roadmaps have to be made. So when transformation happens, some rules must be put in place, others must be done away with, and new roadmaps to success must also be made. So remember, as I just said, don't overstress people with too many rules. Everyone has a breaking point. And so, with too many rules, you burden people, you slog down processes, and so there has to be uh, some um, some structure. Okay, rules and roadmaps make structures, and they show us ways to get from A to B. But if you overdo it, then you'll get frustrated. Your clients will get frustrated, and then when people get frustrated, they just walk. Okay, and so and then your program is like futile. Everything in your program becomes futile, and you don't want that to happen. So also remember to remove obstacles to transformation. Remove obstacles to transformation, success, and minimize frustration. Minimize frustration, especially while people are trying to follow your instructions. So I just talked about that a little bit in the last slide. But one of the things that we ask our clients are, what are the barriers to you getting what you need? And we write them down. And in our minds, they're really super simple to overcome, or we give them support to overcome them. If we can't give them support, then we pick up the phone and we call one of our partners, and we say, Susie Smith has this problem, and we think you can help. Can we send that person over to your office, excuse me, for services? Excuse me. So please try to listen to your team, your leadership team, or your business team or your clients and remove obstacles to transformation. If you can't do it, then have a partner who can do it, a business partner in your community who can help your clients remove their obstacles. Also, enable and praise new behaviors and culture. Celebrate people when they adopt new behaviors toward their success. And so, when you have your meetings with your clients or your teams, you listen to them, see what steps they made to move forward, and sometimes there's steps backwards. And so sometimes we don't say anything about the steps backwards, but sometimes we have to pause and say, okay, good try. Let's get up, dust ourselves off, and like the song says, start all over again. Okay? So please celebrate people when they adopt new behaviors toward their success because what they're doing is they're transforming and they don't need to be browbeaten. They don't need to be talked about. They're trying. They're going to have some setbacks, but the moment that you see something positive, hey, good job, good job, good job, good job. Okay, and so celebrate. Also, what's really important is to keep track of what you can count or quantify. Certain things cannot be counted or quantified, but you can define what success looks like and then keep track of it. So, in our next slide, I'm going to give you an example. So, for example, um, let's say in March, I just randomly picked that month. Five people entered our shelter, or your shelter, or five people enter your program, and then you put them through the program, give them their goals, meet with them, things like that. And then they start working on these things. Okay. And then two left before completing the program. Um, one went to a friend's house. Now we're talking about two that left. One went to a friend's house. One went back on the streets. Okay. And so that leaves three. And so let's say three completed your program. And then out of those three, two have full time jobs and are in permanent housing, and one has a part time job and is renting a room. So the important thing is to document numbers of people. So we had five people, okay? And then how I do that is we do a couple things. We document first by tracking numbers. We track male or female. Sometimes we track age or slots of age, like maybe 18 to 29, something like that. And then sometimes, if we can, we'll document ethnicity, okay? And because that's important, because the ethnicity of people since I have been in business has changed, and neighborhoods change, culture changes. And so we have to keep track of that. And so we track also how long they stayed and the outcome of the result of being in our program. And so, obviously, in my example, two people left before completing the program. Is that a failure? Maybe, maybe not. Okay, maybe they left. You could have two people that left for the program because they got a job and got housing early. And so, people who leave your program, it may not be a failure. But in this case, I would be concerned because one went to a friend's house and so we don't know what's happening there. Are they employed? Are they couch surfing? And then the other one went back on the streets, which is a bad failure. All right. And so and then who failed? Did you fail or did they fail? Okay. And so those things you have to um, think about and talk about with your staff and then document it so you can improve and hopefully you can create transformation for somebody else. But here's the thing: you will not be able to create transformation for everyone. And then I wrote down in our notes here in front of us how do we document? We document through Excel charts, notes, Google Docs, and software. And then lastly, Again, I want to thank you for watching, and I hope to help you today. I hope that what I said helped you today. And I want you to like, I want you to subscribe, and I want you to share my YouTube videos with other people. And you can also find me on Facebook Business and also Instagram. Instagram is where I'm most likely to be most active. And you can also DM me at Instagram. I check that frequently. And I want to thank you again for watching. My name is Janai Moorhead with Foundation Consultants.